After running with the system for the past 12 months, shooting over 40 hogs, not including the varmints and coyotes, it's time to do a full review of my 6.5 Creedmoor. Now, everyone has different interests when it comes to shooting, and where mine primarily lies is with ballistics. We are currently at the peak of deer season right now, and so I'm going to do a whole nother review in my next video about this. I've had a couple of folks ask me about my build, and when I started doing research into the AR-10 LR308 world, I learned that there was a lot of proprietary parts that may or may not fit together. And that being the case, I decided to go with a complete upper, including the charge handle and bolt carrier group from Ergo Precision. This is the M5E1 upper that has a 20-inch BA barrel with a 1-in-8 twist. It has the 15-inch M-LOK handguard, and I wanted to get an Ergo Precision lower, but I waited for about 2 months and I got tired of waiting. I contacted Fulton Armory, and they told me that this would be a great marriage. And out of all of the AR-15 builds that I've had in the past, this has been the tightest fit I've ever had in an upper and a lower. So much so I had to get a rubber mallet to pound in this the first couple of times. It's still pretty hard to get in there, but I actually like that because it's welded together really well there. Now everything else is pretty much Magpul and DPMS. The buttstock is a Magpul MOE that has the trap door in the back, and I keep my extra Atlas bipod feet in there. DPMS tube, DPMS spring, DPMS buffer for the AR-10, of course. This is the Sure Grip Gen 2 pistol grip. I have a DPMS lower parts kit, and this is an aftermarket CMC Flat Trigger that is measured just at 2¼ pounds. The paint job, as you can see, is pretty flaky here. I'll give you the spray paint can number. Even the barrel was painted a gray tone, and I decided to try to match it with this desert tan here. The magazines I got from Fulton. They are the ASC mags, and I've had absolutely no problem with this, minus one fail to fire because I had a loose primer pocket that I did not take care of. So my main reason in getting the 6.5 Creedmoor is because of this unit right here. This is the Pulsar Apex 58 thermal, and when I talked to Clifford at Third Coast Thermal, he told me that this thing is rated to handle a 308. So I looked at basically the next caliber down, and this is what I found is the 6.5 Creedmoor in an AR-10 platform. The recoil with the flash hider that Ergo Precision gave me was pretty massive, and I'm actually testing out a muzzle brake device right now for a friend. I usually run a JP brake on here, but somebody wanted me to check that out. Oh, I've also got a Magpul finger stop here. There's actually more parts and pieces to it, but I only need that to keep me steady. This is a Magpul Sling. For nighttime use, as I said, I've got the thermal. For daytime use, I'm using the SWFA Super Sniper 10x42. This is my Atlas BT10 bipod that I think is 3.5 or 4.5 inches all the way up to 9. So my review of this gun, it has been absolutely phenomenal on hogs, and that's why I bought this, is for hog hunting. Yes, originally the 6.5 Creedmoor was a target round, and I'm going to give you a great article listed below, and I'm going to include all of this information below so that you can look at the price point that I paid for it. I know prices have adjusted since then, but the one negative, or the two negative things that I have to say about this system is, number one is internally, the chamber is so tight in here. I had a couple of problems with the brass, and I won't go into detail about that, but I'll talk about that in my next video on some things that I did to trick out the system. The second negative thing I have to say is, if you've never handled an AR-10 LR308, these things are a tank. They are not easy to hold one-handed to try to stabilize and shoot. I'm going to guess with a full magazine that this overall system, including the thermal and the battery pack, is somewhere in the realms of 18 to 22 pounds, if not heavier. I'll actually try to get this on a scale and measure that. That being the case, I only shoot this gun in two positions: prone, which is my favorite, or with my Manfrotto tripod, head unit, and this hog saddle. This thing has absolutely been a lifesaver. It is phenomenal to shoot and very stable, and I have no fear about this thing ever dropping. They don't make this Manfrotto system anymore. This is an old aluminum one, and I got it from a guy on Craigslist for 20 bucks who was about to move, so that's been an absolute find. So I've absolutely loved my 6.5 Creedmoor. I didn't buy it because of its extreme accuracy and everything, its ability to do that. I bought it because it can manage the recoil of my 6.5 thermal. And in saying that, let's enjoy all the hog shots that I've had in the past year.
Woohoo!